Hi, welcome. I'm the Frugal Food Gal, and today we're going to make some pickled green beans. I love pickling. It's a real easy way to do food preservation at home and makes fantastic Bloody Mary garnishes. So I'm using a recipe from So Easy to Preserve. I'll post this online for you. So I'm going to make a double batch, so we need 4 pounds of green beans, and when you're selecting your green beans, look for ones that are nice and straight, not too big, maybe just about the size of a pencil or so. They'll still stay firm once you pickle them, and good quality. When you start with a good quality product, you're going to come out with a good quality product at the end. So I'm trimming the green beans up to 4 inches in length so that they're all going to be consistent, and we're using pint jars, wide mouth pint jars, so we need to make sure that they're all going to be submerged. Okay, so we'll go ahead and prepare our brine. The brine part is really easy. It's 3 ingredients: your vinegar, water, and canning salt. It's really important that you use canning and pickling salt. You can't use a sea salt or an iodized. You got to get this one. So I'm going to, since I'm doubling my recipe, I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of the salt, and then 5 cups of water and 5 cups of the vinegar. And then we'll bring that to a boil. Okay, so we have our pickling brine coming up to a boil. It's just our water, our vinegar, and the pickling salt. And we can go ahead and, while that is heating up, we can go ahead and pack our jars. Okay, so you're going to use your jar lifter to remove your jars from the boiling water. So these guys are sterile. And I also have in there, I have our bands and our other tools that we're using to keep those sterilized. The bands you can reuse, and those are these guys. So you can reuse these, but your lids with the little rubber seal, the flat guys with the rubber seal, these are a one-time use only. Once this rubber seal gets sealed, you need to discard it. So we'll cover those up when we're packing. And then the easiest way that I've found to pack your jars is to kind of eyeball it and grab a big handful of the beans that you think are going to fit in there. Looks like we have maybe a couple long ones sticking out, so we can just trim those guys. Okay. And then once we add our brine, it's going to shift a little bit, and you may be able to squeeze a couple more in there as well. Okay, and then each jar gets its own clove of garlic. And the easiest way to peel garlic is just take the flat side of a knife and just squish it, crush it a little bit, and then the skin will come right off. Okay, we'll add that to our jars, and then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper that's going to go in there. And then 1 teaspoon of dill seed. If you have fresh dill heads, you can use those from your garden. Okay, and then our brine is boiling, so we can go ahead and add that hot brine to our jars and start sealing them up. We want to leave about a 1/2 inch of head space so that you're not going to fill up your jar all the way with the brine, but leave a 1/2 inch, because when it's cooking it's going to expand a little bit, and we need to leave room. So you're going to use your tool to remove your lids from, this is at a simmer, not a full boil, but a nice simmer on the lids. So you can moisten up that gummy strip and make it nice and pliable so that you have a nice seal. Okay. And we'll set that to the side for just a moment. We need to wipe the rims of our jars so that we get any debris or salt that's gotten on there, any drips, so that we have a nice clean seal. If we don't, that could ruin everything. Okay. We'll add that on there. We'll get a band from our boiling water. We'll screw that on. You want to make it firm but not too tight. We're going to need to let some air escape. So firm but not too tight. Okay, welcome back. We took a little break to let our boiling water bath come up to temperature. I can hear it boiling. I can hear it because I have a little rack on the bottom of my pot to keep the jars from being directly on the bottom. So I can hear that bubbling inside, and I can also see the steam coming out. So I know that we're up to a boil. So we can go ahead and be careful because it is hot and steamy. Go ahead and lower our jars in. You will need your jar lifter for this. Okay, and there's two. And we want to make sure that our water level covers our jars by at least 1 inch during the boiling water bath. And because we're doing a pickle with the vinegar, we're just going to process these for 5 minutes. But you're not going to start your time until it's back up to a full rolling boil. So you want to work quickly to get these guys in there. Okay. To get those in there and get it back up to temperature. And I remember we talked about that was a big challenge for me, is getting it hot enough. So we're going to replace our lid and listen for that boiling sound, and we'll start our timer then once we're back up to a rolling boil. Okay, so we are up to temperature. I can hear it bubbling in there, and I can also see the steam coming out. So we'll go ahead and start our 5-minute boiling water bath process now. And we'll set a timer. Okay, so 5 minutes. Then we can remove them from the boiling water bath and set them on a clean paper towel, and then let them rest. And we'll listen for the ting when our jars seal. It's such a rewarding sound. Okay, that's it. Time to take them out. Careful, always open your lid away from you so you don't get a face full of steam. I learned that one the hard way. Alright, we'll go ahead and turn that off and use our jar lifter again to remove these guys from the jars, from the water. Set those on a clean paper towel to cool, and our recipe recommends that you wait at least 2 weeks to let the flavors develop. But lucky for us, I have made this recipe. I made this recipe a batch in July, so we can open these guys from July and try them out. Same recipe, same thing that we did today. Okay, so we pulled our jars out of our boiling water bath. Even though I doubled my recipe to make 8 with 4 pounds of green beans, it ended up being 7 jars. So you need to be flexible, or maybe buy a little bit extra because you are going to have a little bit of the ends that you're going to discard. So maybe buy a little bit extra. So I have a jar of the same recipe that I made in July that we can open and taste today, which I'm really excited about. So this is the part that makes all your hard work worth it. And you can tell the difference. You can tell a good seal. You can hold it upside down, shake it, but you also, it's concave. So that's how you know that you have a good seal. It doesn't pop up like these. Haven't quite sealed yet. and you'll hear them when they do. Okay, so let's open these up and enjoy a nice pickled green bean treat. There we go. Look at those. How's that look? Okay. Okay. Enjoy. They're delicious. They're still crispy because you're only processing them for 5 minutes. Still crispy. Great flavor. I think you're really gonna like this. Thank you.